Hey folks, it's a bit past midnight, 30th of April 2017, which makes this day 86. It's been about a week since I uploaded any videos, and I wanted to talk about two things in particular. The idea of following through on your plans and the idea of finding your flaws and fixing them. Now, over the last 85 days, I've had this whole challenge of finding out what to do with my time, other than PMO. And, the real difference between success and failure is actually following through on your plans. Now, I could sit here and I could talk about all the things I'm going to do, and I want to do, and I need to do, but unless I actually go and find a way to convince myself to actually go do the plans, to follow through, nothing's going to come of it. And that was probably the biggest thing that caused me to have a lot of stress this week, because I put off a bunch of work that I shouldn't have put off. I let my perfectionist side take the reins, and I barely got in some assignments on time, and maybe using a reward system would help in that kind of a case. But whatever you got to do, whether it's in the case of Nofap, quitting PMO, that means taking cold showers or working out or what have you. You can create your list of things to do, your stuff you're going to do in case you feel like relapsing or what have you. But or what you're going to do to resolve the underlying issues that are causing you to PMO. But until you find that means or that way to get yourself over that barrier and actually get the work done that solves the problems or resolves the issues or relieves you of the stress, the anxiety, the depression, other than PMO, obviously, you're not going to have the results you've been looking for, and it's going to seem like Nofap isn't the thing, isn't doing anything for you. So for me, I've used a reward system here and there. I need to follow through more on using that kind of thing. Obviously, instead of going back to PMO, which I'd say that if I see something of a sexual nature, I come across it, obviously I'm going to get turned on a bit. But given that I've done some work on myself at this point, it doesn't really affect me as much, and I haven't obviously relapsed. So all that being said, you make your plans, you figure out what you got to do, and then you follow through with it, and you have to somehow find a way to motivate yourself to do that thing that will allow you to make Nofap an actual effective tool of self-improvement. All that being said, I want to move on to my next topic, which is the idea of finding your flaws and fixing them. Now, this idea, really, which I would consider the meat of the video, it brings to mind the analogy of the Matrix scene with the blue pill versus the red pill, because as I come up on 90 days, I'm realizing that the fight is not over, that getting on Nofap, quitting PMO and porn subs and all that kind of stuff, it's really not something that has, it's improved my life, definitely, but it hasn't made everything perfect. And the idea with that is that you're going to have challenges in life, you're going to have problems in your life, you're going to have things, maybe stuff that happened to you in the past, whatever the case may be, that cause you stress, anxiety, depression, and how you respond to those things is going to determine the course of your life in many cases. Obviously, there are things that are outside of your control, but getting on Nofap is all about becoming aware of how things are really working and what is it that really is making you so stressed and anxious and depressed, and actually doing the work, putting in the elbow grease or what have you to really make your life better. So you're essentially waking up to how stuff really works, and you're finding your flaws and fixing them. So I'm realizing that while I am struggling through life, I'm not going to give up, and that I'm continuing on Nofap and continuing on this, porn-free, porn substitutes-free lifestyle. And all that being said, it's a journey, and it's going to be a long road, but that's life, hopefully. In a sense, I kind of hope that's going to be a long road, because a long road means a long life. But anywho, that's it for the two main things I wanted to talk about. Now that I'm looking at the bottom of my card, I'm remembering that I wanted to talk about one final thing, which I wanted to cover it in passing. It relates to a comment this one guy left on one of my videos, asking about the idea of withdrawal on Nofap. So I wanted to close with that. Now, when you get onto any sort of path or process or program of sorts that is essentially requiring you to step away from or disengage from something, whether it's a substance or it's a habit or an activity that has been giving you, really, you could say, sort of a heightened form of pleasure or release, relaxation, and you've been using it to cope with whatever it is in your life that's been causing you stress, anxiety, depression, you're obviously going to get, or you should expect to get, maybe it doesn't happen to every single person out there. Like, there are people who, smoke cigarettes and they never get cancer. But you should expect, in all likelihood, to have some sort of experience with withdrawal. And to me, really, that's not per se that, the Nofap or the no alcohol or whatever is causing the problem. It's the fact that you're now telling yourself, I've got to cope with this, that, and the other without my go-to drug or habit or activity or what have you, that I'm going to have to do this thing called life, face my problems, face my issues, face things that are causing me to feel stressed out, anxious, and depressed without having a quick escape to go to, And that's where you get the withdrawal from, because you become so used to being able to go into that hyper-stimulated state where you're flooded with happy juice. You got that dopamine coursing through your system, and you're getting the complete opposite feeling, feeling stressed out, anxious, and depressed. And now suddenly that you said that, hey, I'm going on Nofap, I'm going on no alcohol or no whatever, it feels overwhelming at first, and that's where you get the withdrawal effects, that the stimulus creating your anxiety, depression, stress is there, and you're not having something to this, like a sort of a pressure release valve, and you're having to try to cope with that. You're having to figure out, what it is that's really causing you to feel like this, and then learn to resolve those things and get rid of those flaws, get rid of those problems in your life, or not so much just get rid of them, but solve them. It's like a math problem. The math problem is still there after you solved it, but it's solved. It's a solved problem as opposed to an unsolved problem. Which is, sorry, guy going by with his dog. But, yeah. Anywho. That's basically what withdrawal is to me. Now, it's all part of the process. If it's happening to you, well, the reality is you're doing something right, in the sense that you're feeling the withdrawal effects because you are on Nofap. In this case, it's being that you're not PMOing, and in those situations, I do recommend things like cold showers and exercise, anything that gets you up and active and resolves the immediate anxiety, the immediate stress, the immediate depression. But beyond that, you have to ask yourself the question, what am I so stressed out about? What am I so anxious about? What am I so depressed about? And then the next step from that point, if you can answer that question, what do I have to do in order to solve the problem? Because, like I said, using that math problem analogy, the problem doesn't go away, but you can solve it. And it becomes a solved problem where you have the solution for it. And if the problem, if you get another one of those problems again in your life, then you have experience with solving the problem, and you can apply the same methodology to solve that problem in your life. So I think that's it for now. I think I'm just gonna stop recording this video. When I get back home, upload this final version. Might not be perfect, but I finally got through it. So thanks for watching my content. Hope this helps, and I'll see you folks around coming up on day 90, so looking forward to that. Thanks, and I'll see you around. Bye.